Well, I think action learning is a naturally collaborative community to begin with. It is only designed so that a group of people come together and help one another learn. So it can be many formats, but it's all about peers helping one another to get new insight. So I think the value of action learning is that if we struggle with things alone, we often get very uncertain about our point of view, or maybe we get too certain about our point of view, one or the other. And if we have other people to talk with, then they can ask us questions and they can help us think in new ways by presenting a question that comes from a totally different viewpoint. The other thing I think action learning does to build community is that it builds trust. Because I tell you things that are very important to me and that I don't necessarily share with everybody, but I trust that you have my best interest at heart. And likewise, you tell me things that you don't want, you want that are very private to you, but they help you then I have your best interest at heart. So we build a trusting community, and I think that's a very important thing for a community. I think one of the challenges around an inclusive community is, in fact, two things really, two challenges. One is that people don't feel that they are respected or recognized. And so I think that in order to use action learning to build inclusive communities, the first step is to really show the other person that you really are understanding and caring, and that you recognize that what they have to say is of value. So it is actually Hannett's work now in transformative learning around recognition theory that I think gives us the key to that, because it's not just a rational approach, it's an approach that comes from the heart as well as the head, and it enables us to let people know that we see them, we value what they have to say, we respect what they have to say. So that in itself is often helping to be heard is more important than that necessarily you can always do something about it. So I think that's important. And the other part is that today we get very stuck in our own frame of reference, and we think very strongly, we have biases, we have beliefs. Action learning, by opening up with questions and focusing on questions rather than on statements or trying to persuade you that I'm right and that you're not right. By action learning, you're really asking questions to help open up the thinking of another person, and that itself also means that you are interested in their point of view and you are valuing them. So I think it's all about values. Action learning works well when there is a complex or a complicated problem. There's no right solution. We often say that reasonable people will disagree over the choice of doing one thing or another. There may be competing priorities. So these are very good questions to work with in action learning, because there is no one right answer. Whereas by contrast, if there's a question for which there really are pretty good solutions, for example, oftentimes when we're developing people to be professionals, there's much that we know about the typical problems that people encounter, and there are good answers to help people for these typical they're not easy challenges, but we know a lot that they will come up, and that here are some things that will work, and this will help you a lot. So that's not a good action learning question, because we actually know what's the best thing. So it's really those questions where we're forging some new territory. We really don't know much about intercultural communication and challenges and how best to work with them. So these kinds of challenges are good challenges for an action learning project.